Hello, everyone. I'm Josh Oakes with smartsocial.com, where we teach our kids to be safe and smart on the web. We all know that everybody has a device these days, and it seems like we're using them more and more. We're going to talk about screen time and screen time abuse and screen time addiction and everything that comes to kids and adults using these devices that we all know and love. I can't even find mine, which is really great. When I misplace it, because that means I'm not using it, that means I'm doing something productive. I have a dear friend here on the video here with us today, and her name is Jill Simonian, and she has a lot of awesome stuff behind us. TV shows use her as a parenting expert, a lifestyle expert. She has a blog. People from all over the world follow her. I'm honored to get the chance to invite her here today so that we can rap and chat and get frustrated and have fun together about screen time. So Jill, welcome to the video.
Hi, Josh. I'm a little scared. I'm a little prickly today. I'm scared we're going to get like judgy and prickly, but it's okay because it's in the spirit of doing the right thing for kids, right?
It is indeed. And it's doing, and we should be frustrated. You know, before this, you said I might get a little frustrated. I said, please get frustrated. You know, everybody knows that I've written a few books that teach kids how to shine online, right? Light, bright, and polite, because we need to put our best foot forward, and we do get judged by a quick Google search, and no one knows it. And we're trying to change that to teach kids the positive side. Tell us a quick background about you and then your book.
Okay, so I'm a mom here in Southern California. I'm a happily married mom. I got two daughters who are now in second and first grade. Oh my gosh. And I started blogging. My website, by the way, is thefabmom.com. And the FAB stands for Focused After Babies. That's why I started blogging, to sort of keep my head on straight. And my book is for first-time pregnant moms. If you're looking for a baby shower gift, it's called The Fab Mom's Guide, How to Get Over the Bump and Bounce Back Fast After Baby. And it's a ton of stories and chapters, personal stories, trials, fails, things I did, things I discovered, how to stay sane, focused, and me when I had babies. And one of the things I talk about in that book is how my attitude towards tech and being online and social media really started to shift as a brand new mom, because there is a lot of judgment online and it is addicting, and you find yourself in this weird headspace sometimes. And that's sort of, the basis of how I feel about a lot of this tech and social media phenomenon now, especially with our kids.
I love it. Okay, so let's talk about your two little nuggets. You have, I love how we talked months and months ago, and you've spoken at our conferences, and we've been friends from afar on all these different things. You have a unique, very low screen time approach, which is refreshing, because everybody that's watching this right now, they will take their iPad, let's pretend like it's an iPad, and they'll say, oh, they're frustrated, they're in the back of the car, just give that to them for an hour at a time, which is fine, and you're a normal human being.
No, it's not fine. No.
Well, okay, hold on. Okay, get frustrated. Go. Ready, set, go. Please, it's all yours. I love this.
Okay, first of all, it's not fine to interrupt someone when you're on their show or podcast. So
no, interrupt away. I love it. I love it, because this is why you're on, because you have you're doing it. Go ahead.
I will say this. It is so easy to get overwhelmed as a parent, and I get that. And I am frustrated just as much as the next person. And yes, I admittedly will get, antsy if my kids are anxious and arguing and bickering and all that stuff in the back seat. But the one thing, and I'm not saying this to try and be like high and mighty and righteous, because yeah, I totally yell at my kids and I do bad parenting things all day that I try to reverse and then make up for. But the one thing that I never, ever did with my kids, and this is the truth on my honor, I never did the iPhone or iPad hand to them at a restaurant, in a store, in the car when we were traveling. I mean, I've written a lot on my blog about how I've literally made hundreds of 3-hour road trips with my daughters by myself to the Central Valley to visit my family, my hometown. And when they were babies, toddlers, everything, never did I once give the iPad or the phone to appease them, because right then and there, the habits start the screen time addiction starts for them and for us getting into the addictive habit of just, passing the thing back. It starts when they're babies and it starts when they're toddlers. And I don't know, it's just one of those things that I really decided. I said, even if they're screaming, I'm going to take my deep breaths and I'm going to do my little Zen thing to try and get past it. But I am not going to be giving them what I equate as quote unquote a chocolate candy bar for breakfast every single morning just because they say they want it.
True.
Yeah.
No, very good. Okay, so let's talk about the things you give your kids in the back of the car on the road trips. What are your substitutes to get them thinking and looking outside?
Nothing. I give them nothing. I should have been a parent in the 1970s. Like online, there's all these funny articles about what would your 1970s mom do? She would say, go outside and play. And she would drink her Tab or Diet Coke and, water the plants while the kids played in the background. That is me. In the car, I turn on the music. I do the old fashioned stuff. I talk to my kids. They are kids. They are normal kids. We're bored. When are we there? Are we there? I go, do you think we're there? We're not there. We're not there. If someone asks me that question one more time, I'm turning the music off, look out the window and count how many trees you see.
Yeah.
And that sounds so like awful. I take it back. It doesn't sound awful, but it sounds preposterous for me to still do those kinds of things when we have this that, is so readily accessible. But I'm a big believer in the whole being addicted, and it is a real thing with the dopamine effect and all that we all read about. I'm a big believer in just really resisting that before the kids start to know any better.
Let's talk about that resistance. I'm sharing the screen right now with everybody. It's called waituntil8th.org.
Yes.
I love what you're going against. We empower parents to say yes to waiting for the smartphone. They want you to wait until 14 years old and not give Snapchat and the phone. Now, The kids can use the home computer and email and still learn, and they can use YouTube to learn how to play the guitar. But parents, if you're watching this going, Jill is crazy, I'll never be able to do that. Yes, you can. And she has found her own way, but why wait and then take action? It gives you scripts. Now, the key that this website says, for those of you parents that think you can't do this, you can be a Jill, and it only helps your kids. They will hate you for 5 minutes, and then eventually when they're 25, they'll love you because they'll move out of your basement and they will go get a job and they'll launch. But here's the trick. They give you a script to give to your kids' best friends' parents. And that is the key. Otherwise, if the drug is given to everyone, then you are unfortunately not going to be able to get your kids to not have that drug. And yes, it is an addiction. I did a digital detox a month ago, and I announced it all dramatic because I have to.
I remember that. I remember that.
I'm going to do a digital detox because I find myself. Now, I want to talk to people about my 4 C's. Can I share my 4 C's of social media is good with the first 2 C's and bad with the second 2? I want to see what you think. We're just doing a live wrap. It's good when we connect and we communicate, Jill. We connect. I'm going to connect with you so we can follow up later. It's like getting your phone number, but I'm going to get your Instagram. And then communicate, DM. Hey, great to see you at this event. We're doing this. Will you be on our, whatever that is. Did you do your homework? Whatever that is. DMs, right? Within reason. You don't want your kid privately DMing all kinds of people. But then the next 2 C's are the bad ones. That's when we compare. I'm not as skinny as her, or they're in the Bahamas or I want my relationship to look like that. And we consume, meaning we're bored in line and all we do is we pick it up and we're scrolling. The endless feed that Instagram never wants us to hit the end of is just, and it eats us up on the inside because we don't have our own thoughts. And so the comparing is, am I good enough? I want to be like them. Their best life seems like it's better than my real life.
Right on.
Totally fake. And then the consuming of we all find ourselves doing that. I have an inbox addiction. I'm checking my email all the time. Like, okay, what should I do? When really I should have certain set parts of the day that I'm trying to do to check my inbox. So the 4 C's, connecting, communicating, awesome. Social, great. But comparing and consuming, really, my thoughts are that. Jill, what do you think?
No, totally. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because the thing is, we do live in this digital age. And the number one, and we have to learn how to function in it, how to thrive in it, and also to set limits in it for ourselves and for our kids. And one of the biggest things that I talk about, even with just, I mean, I'm not even talking about like with, I don't talk about this with colleagues. I mean, sometimes I do, but I'm even talking about when I have really productive, in-depth conversations with my kids' friends' parents, you know, in our neighborhood here. Well, all the other kids do it and all the other kids have it and we're the only ones without a phone and blah, 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 blah. Here's the thing. And I for the sake of just, you know, putting this discussion on a parallel plane, I say, we set limits with what we eat for health purposes. We don't eat candy bars and Doritos every meal all the time for breakfast, lunch, and dinner and dessert because we know it's bad for us. There's consequences. It's the exact same thing with digital programming, social media, iPhones, screen time, whatever. I love television. I work on television. I would not be working if it wasn't for this digital age and digital content. But I have to learn how to set limits as a mom, as a parent, so that my kids see my actions. I take, and I've gotten to be a lot better at it, where during the day when they're at school, I'll try and get all my work done. I'm on my phone, even at nighttime, you know, like when my husband and I are going to bed, I'm on Instagram, I'm commenting, I'm posting for my own content, work purposes. And he's like, you're on the phone. I go, I just have to do this one thing and then I'm done. But when my kids are home, I will put my phone in the other room, physically in the other room, and I stay away from it. And I want them to see that behavior because it is, like you said, compartmentalizing, finding the time. This is the time where we're online. This is the time when it's not appropriate to be online right now.
I love that. Okay, these are some great tips. I love your back of the car ride techniques that people, I can't, and we all know parents that are throwing the iPad, and that's fine. I'm not judging. You say it's not fine, which I love.
I say, no, we should be judging. Are you, wait, I forget, do you have kids? I forget.
I don't yet. That will happen soon.
Because I'm going to say, you're being respectful, you're being nice, you're saying all the right things, and you're like, I'm not judging. I am saying, as a parent, I have gotten to the point where now I do judge. And I don't judge things that are irrelevant and make no difference. And I'm not talking about judging, whether you're breastfeeding or bottle feeding your baby. That I'm not judging. What I am judging is when parents are doing things and raising kids in a way where we know it's wrong. We know it causes more anxiety. We know it's making these kids behaviorally challenged, yet we're still doing it because, life is so hard and I'm a regular parent. We are all regular parents, but we can also make the right decisions even though it might be harder on us sometimes.
Yeah, very, very, very true. I was on the phone with a mom this morning. We get a lot of people through smartsocial.com that fill out our contact form. And she said, I found 2 weird phone numbers in my 14-year-old daughter's phone, and we're on Verizon, and I'm tracking, and she has some privacy, but I know who she's talking to, and we have a social media contract. She said, there's 2 weird phone numbers, and my daughter refused to tell me who they are. And she made a big deal, and she got an attitude, and she hit her phone. And this mom said, I locked the phone down. I called Verizon. I shut off the data. I shut off the number. And everything is dead on that phone. And that daughter is getting, and I told the mom, I said, first of all, kudos to you because you love your daughter more than you care about your daughter liking you. Your daughter should hate you every once in a while. That means you love her. And I said, your goal, and you're doing a great job, is to make sure your daughter at the age of 25 is awesome and great for the world. And at 14, you're making sure this doesn't get out of hand. So we talked to her a little bit about that screen time, and there is no, and she was saying, my daughter should have a little privacy. And I said, heck no, who bought that device? Who pays for the monthly fee? There is probably no boy in this world your daughter should ever talk to that you do not know until she has moved to your house. Sorry to seem opinionated, but there is no privacy. If you see the side of the internet that I see, that I protect people from, the predators, sex trafficking, all the weird stuff, I'm sorry, but there is something to be said as you are getting frustrated about screen time. There is almost zero privacy that your kid under 18 should be having online because of all the weird people out there that do not love your child as much as we as your family unit love them.
And that is exactly the the next layer of all of this. What you said, that is exactly the next layer, because when we think privacy, we think we want them to learn how to be by themselves in their neighborhood, at their school, in their room, whatever. Privacy on that level, on the protected level where we know where they are, that's a good thing. Walking around the block, walking the dog, privacy, yes. But when it comes to this, there are so many parents, because they don't work in digital media and they don't know the underbelly. This is like, I read an article last year sometime, and it was like, this is like dropping your child off in the most shadiest, sketchiest part of town without any form of communication or anything to protect them, and saying, good luck. This is, a lot of parents don't understand what this is the gate to if you don't handle it with prudence and vigilance and just, reasonable train of thought.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of the apps that are on here. I always like to tell people this is a park. And when you're on the same apps that you're with your kids on, in a safe park during the daytime, you're with your kids, nothing bad's going to happen. They could run to the other side of the park. You can see them. And within reason, you're watching them. You're playing, you're eating, you're whatever, and you're just hanging out. And your kids have a little bit of freedom, but you're in the park that they're at during a safe time, and you know who they're interacting with. Sweet. But on the apps that you don't, first of all, there's some bad apps. It's like going to a bad park. Whatever. It's like going to a really bad park, and then you don't really know where your kids are at. But then there's also the bad apps. Any app that you're not on with your kids is like sending your kid to a park. I'm getting a random call.
You're getting a call. Ooh!
Yeah, I don't know who that is. Sending your kid to a park and not being there. And that's any app. Snapchat. Oh, yeah, I'll be on it when I can. No, your kids should not be on Snapchat without you on there. And the good thing that this mom did earlier this morning, she said, I'm on Snapchat with my daughter. I have a little bit of understanding how it works. Now, I have a lot of people will say, I'm not tech savvy. Josh, that's not me. I have a 94-year-old neighbor who's a World War II hero, the sweetest little Jewish man you ever met that flew planes during World War II. And I go over there and he goes, Josh, I've got this Android. I really want to learn how to use it. Teach me. And he is so dead set on learning technology. Now, I don't know who's listening to this right now, but you're probably between the ages of 0 to 94. And if my 94-year-old neighbor is dead set on learning his Android and he has seen a different world, your minivan has more technology than any of his aircraft he's ever flown in his entire life. And if he wants to learn his Android, which is not the easiest in the world, he should have an iPhone, but we'll get past that. I have pictures of me sitting in his living room, helping him on his Android. And I'm not making people feel bad. I'm just saying it's all relative. If he wants to learn and become savvy, I think all of us can.
Mm-hmm. No, and it's absolutely true. And one of the things that I would talk about, I'm no longer there, but I used to work for 2 years for KCBS, Los Angeles, Channel 2, if you guys live in LA. I had my Fab Mom segments that I would talk about all this parenting stuff. And one of the things that I would always talk about whenever we had a discussion about kids and teens using tech, I said, and it was the same thing you just said, Josh, you have to be on the apps with them. The parents have the passwords. The parents know exactly which apps are on that phone. There are, different resources and devices that will track when your kids are on what apps and give you a report every week, every month. I know you offer stuff like that too. So that's the number one thing. Know what apps your kids are on when. The parent controls all the passwords. And then number 3, which a lot of parents don't even pay attention to, be conscious of what apps have as their age guidelines and limitations. YouTube says 13, age 13. Instagram, it's age 13 or 14. Maybe it's different now. You're probably a lot more up to date than I am. But all of these apps, the minimum age to even be on them is age 13. And when I see parents saying, oh yeah, my kid's on YouTube, or oh, they were scrolling this, or I let them go on Instagram, they're 9, but they're really mature. No, there's a reason why there are age guidelines for these apps. Yeah. And the parent has to be the one that's on it with them.
Now, side note, and I couldn't agree with you more, I'm going to be super old school. There's this guy out there. He's I won't call him a competitor, but he's a speaker that is really good at teaching kids how to delete their Snapchat and delete their Instagram for a while and unfollow a ton of people's. And all these kids will direct message him and go, wow, I feel free. I feel less anxiety. I have deleted. I don't have to compare myself. And so I actually argue that students, they shouldn't be on the app until 13, but actually let's let teenagers be teenagers a little longer.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
And maybe I think what we're both arguing for, and it's so right, is to be intentional when you're online. Mm-hmm. Tell kids, here's the goals. And for those of you parents that are listening, watching, no matter where we're at, Stitcher Radio, iTunes, give us a thumbs up. If you love Jill, please comment below or give us a thumbs up. Let us know. But one, please consider Googling your kids right now. Go Google your kids without them looking and then bring them into the room and Google them. Number two, go tour a college campus. It is not too early in elementary school to get your kids' sights set on USC, UCLA, junior college, whatever it is. Get them on a campus and go, this can be you. Or take them to a company. Jill's husband is a surgeon. Take them and go, look, we can do some really cool stuff. He's a doctor. Get them inspired by other people. And number three, once you've got them Googled, once you've got a goal set, like, oh, wow, Mom, I want to go to this school. That's great. You want to play football, chess? You want to be a scientist, NASA? It doesn't matter. They just pick something. They will then start to make better decisions when they are confronted with weird stuff. That's where wisdom comes from, not by you saying, don't do that, but rather you showing the real world. Then you can start to post positive content. Yes. That's when at the age of 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, you start to decide as a family, what am I going to put online to build a positive profile so that my Google results start to be the real me? They can be silly, self-deprecating, but they need to be positive and full of gratitude. I need to not be making fun of other people. And if someone got arrested that has the same name as me and that's not me, we need to push them down and put me towards the top.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, no, totally. That's exactly what it is, because I think back, I always go back to like old-fashioned parenting. Okay, what was it that sort of kept me on track? And I made mistakes. All my friends, we all made mistakes and, did weird, stupid stuff, but it wasn't immortalized because of online communication. So I think back to what kept me on track, and I think it was the threat of, this could ruin what you want down the line, full on, that this could ruin what you want. And I also go back to, I can't help but laugh now. One time as a teenager, my friend and I said that we were at her house. It's the classic, we'll say we're at each other's houses and then we'll go to the party, hello. So oldest trick in the book. So we did that. Our parents found out. I was great. Now, mind you, that was like my first offense ever. I was like, I think I was a senior in high school. I was a squeaky clean kid, okay? But that was my first offense ever. My parents unabashedly grounded me for a full month, 30 days, which I thought was, that is so out. That's crazy. Come on, like a week, a 2 week. No, it was a full month. But I look back and I think, you know what? They made a strict, hard decision and stuck to it unapologetically. And that's what I base my own parenting on when it comes to any kind of discipline with my kids, especially now that my kids are getting a little bit older and I'm thinking in terms of iPhones and all this kind of stuff. I think, no, make the decision, unapologetically stick to it. Don't feel bad. Don't say, maybe making them wait till 13 is too rough because I know that a lot of their friends are going to have iPhones by the time they're 9 or 10. No, I'm making the choice. Mm-hmm. My kids are not having an iPhone before they get to at least junior high. That's my choice. Yep. I'm going to stick to it. If they hate me, they hate me, but I have to be solid in how I choose to act.
I have a niece, my cousin's daughter. I call her my niece, and she's a senior in high school. And we're going to put her on the podcast soon. She had a really detailed discussion. She said, Josh, I got Instagram at 11. And I went, whoa, that's pretty young. She goes, no, most of my friends got it at 9 years old. Yeah. And it's crazy. And she said, actually, once I got it, opened up a whole new world of anxiety and feeling left out. And here's one of her tips. I love it. I'm going to put her on here because I get, with your family, you get to do whatever you want. So
Yeah.
I don't have to like sign permission slips. She's my family member. So I'm like, let's do this. So Olivia, said some amazingly mature things. She said, Josh, I've gone through a lot of digital detoxes voluntarily. And now I'm just so busy getting into college. I don't have time for any of this drama. And she's just so mature. And I hope every kid gets this way. She said, yeah, I turned it off for a month. I focus. I turned it back on, and I'm really intentional. She said, I really felt the fear of missing out when I didn't have it because I wondered what was on it. And now that I'm on it, when I first got on it, I felt the fear of missing out. I'm missing out on all these events. I can see what I'm missing out on. And it almost opened up more bad stuff. Mm-hmm. So the FOMO of not being on it was a minimal FOMO, but the FOMO of being on it, all these other, and she's a popular, beautiful young woman. She gets invited to a lot of stuff, and she's good, clean cut. She doesn't do anything bad. But it was really intriguing as to the FOMO that it unlocked when she got it.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing that scares me the most, because not only are we trying to help our kids navigate the real life social stuff, now it's all of this virtual social stuff. But because it's through the screen, it's amplified into this, oh my gosh, I missed out on that. Like, it's one thing if you hear you missed out on a party. You feel bad. You feel like left out. Oh, why wasn't I invited? All these insecure, normal kid, teenage feelings. But if you see it and you're seeing it, do you know how video is pervasive. Mm-hmm. And for kids and teens to absorb that mm-hmm. visually of their peers together and they're left out, that just takes it to a whole other level. We wonder why kids are so anxious and, oh, it's the pressure for this. This is 50% of it. Mm-hmm. At least. This is 50% of it. And we have control as parents, whether we want to believe we do or not. We have control.
Yep, agreed. I'm trying to see if on the other screen I can pull up those 4 C's, because I think it's so powerful going back to how do your kids connect and communicate, mm-hmm. but not compare and consume. The consuming keeps us from doing stuff. When I took my social media detox for fun, 2 things happened. One, I got a couple calls from some close people, and they said, are you okay?
Are you okay?
And I went, yeah, I'm great. I'm remodeling my new house. What's wrong? They're like, your social media are you stable? I was like, yeah, what's wrong? I've got to focus. I don't know.
That's happened to me sometimes too. Yeah. Okay.
Right. So first of all, I got calls. Are you okay? I went, that's very sweet of you. I'm great. I've got stairs to redo. I've got bedrooms to redo. So I've got stuff. And then second, I had a bunch more free time. As soon as I deleted the apps, now I didn't jump off and go off the grid. And then some people said,
well, that's not realistic either. That's not realistic either.
It's not. You have to connect and communicate. But like my cousin Olivia said, she said, Josh, every time I jump back on after a digital detox or a vacation or a low-tech vacay, whatever you call it, she said, I'm more intentional and I know how to deal with that drug. And I'm the same way with coffee now. If I get the flu every once in a while, because I'm like talking to all these students in different speeches, 1,000 students in front of you, one of them's going to sneeze and you're going to go, oh man, something's going to go wrong. But every time I get sick, I don't drink coffee for a week or 4 days. And now when I drink it, I'm intentional. I know I can listen to my body. I know when I haven't had enough sleep because of whatever traveling, I know actually I don't need coffee. I need a nap.
Yes.
To recharge. It's true. It's weird. I'm not that guy who goes, I need a cup of coffee. I'm tired. Yes, a cup of coffee can fix the morning thing, but I know when I need a nap, which is a lot like listening to my body. And I think the detox, for those of you parents watching this, it's something to try. People told me what a dangerous business move. It was dumb, Josh. Actually, it was genius. It started things. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. I was just gonna. I got very, very excited about the detox because every weekend, I go offline. But Friday, depending on if I'm working and I have something that that it's my responsibility to share because I'm working and I'm being paid for it and everything, then I will be online on the weekend. But generally speaking, 90% of the time, I'm offline Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Gone. You're not going to hear from me Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Sorry.
That is awesome.
I'm offline. I'm not on Facebook. I'm not on Instagram. I'm not on Twitter. And I don't like to check my emails. I won't check my emails over the weekend.
Good for you. And I mean, everybody that's listening to this right now, you're on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube. This is somebody that's on TV or regularly and has a great book, is a published author. She has a lot of inbound requests. Don't think that she's a hermit locked away. I mean, she's got a lot of agents and people reaching out to her, people on a major news channel here in Los Angeles are her go-to first name basis people. They know who she is. So if she can do it, all of us can.
It's not, at first it's weird because it is that whole FOMO thing for anybody. I'm missing out, but it is mentally freeing because you learn how, like you just said, you learn how to work with the drug. You know how to figure it out and you find your limits. And then once you find that your comfort in your limits, then you say, oh, I don't want to jeopardize that. I don't want to compromise that because now I know how to work it all so that it fits with me and I feel good rather than bad.
Yeah, it's so true. For anybody that is considering a digital detox, for a week is a good time. But I have a lot of friends that go, find the time that's right for you. Okay, let me just tell you, a week's a great amount of time. Let me just be practical and tactical because Jill and I don't have time to be vague. One, consider just announcing with an image, I'm taking a digital detox. I'll see you on the other end. Email me, call me, text me if you have time. Right. I'm great, but I'm spending time with my fam. Just post that, and then bozos, all my family, won't DM me there, right? So that was a success point. 2, give it a week. I actually took 10 to 15 days. And then when I did re-download them, I didn't delete them. I just re-downloaded them after, whatever. I re-downloaded them. I put them on my last page, so it's hard to get at Facebook and Instagram. Now, I'm not addicted to Snapchat. I don't have time. It's exhausting. I don't think it's a long-lasting thing, but every child uses it, I feel like. So it is something parents need to be on. I have it, but I don't use it more than once a month when I have to try an update. Mm-hmm. But the things that we are addicted to, and we need to use those phrases because I do think I have an inbox addiction, too much Gmail, and I think I need to put it away, and I do set it in the other room. But putting it on the last page makes it more difficult, and you're more intentional when you have to drag down and search for it on your device.
That's a good tip. And also another tip that I have lived by for years without even knowing that I was consciously doing it, is I turn I don't want to hear a buzz. When I get a Facebook message, I don't want to hear a buzz. Don't alert me. I'm in control of what hours of the day I'm checking Facebook. I don't want to buzz when someone tweets something about me. I don't want to buzz when I get a Facebook message or, a DM. I don't want to buzz when I get an email. I rarely want to buzz when I get a text, but you can't really turn that.
I love you. And that's why I have this stupid little device, because in a meeting, I insist on never letting this make a noise. You will never be around me and this makes a noise. I will get a little tiny buzz only with a text or a call. And in fact, when I just got a call, you didn't hear it loud. I didn't have to go on silent because it's always on silent. And I wear this stupid little thing that just alerts me. And no one should be occupying your attention. And I think that's the key you're getting at is my dad, I love you, Dad, but he gets a little blurb on his hip because he has a hip thing or whatever. Every time he gets an email, I'm like, Dad, stop it. Not when I'm around. I'm going to, Dad,
panic like that. I get nervous.
I get nervous too, the text thing. So it's nice when it's silent. If I miss 5 texts, yay. No one's dying. Call me twice and it'll do something. I have that emergency after hours thing. If you call me 3 times, it turns on. The point is one of my other friends said, you don't have to get back to an email or a text immediately. When's the last time you got a FedEx or mail delivered to you and you felt like within 7 seconds you had to respond to the mail? It is mail. It's not urgent. Now, if you have a boss, yes, it's urgent. But within text, it's okay to let people know, hey, got it, I'll get back to you, or just not even get back to them for a little while. It's perfectly fine.
It's okay. It's okay. What was that? I read something a couple years ago. Shonda Rhimes, the showrunner for Grey's Anatomy and all Scandal, everything. So Shonda Rhimes used to, allegedly, legend has it, she would have a auto respond to her email, something about if I noticed you sent me a note after 7 p.m. I suggest you turn off your phone because I will not be responding to you until the next business day. I mean, it wasn't rude. It was something very kitschy and smart and a wake-up call. In other words, I'm with my family now, it's after hours. I don't expect you to respond, and I'm not going to respond.
I love that. It sets the standard for that. Yeah, that's really awesome. I love ranting with you. You're amazing, Jill. Thank you so much. Everyone that's watching this right now, you can click the link below to get access to Jill's book on Amazon. You can go buy it there. And we're also going to put link below to her website so you can learn more about her. She is delightful, awesome, and she's the real deal, meaning she puts everything into effect. And her daughters are great. Don't even think for a second that she's not social. She's all over Instagram. I follow her. She has a great time. She does all this stuff. So it's the real deal, but she's figured out how to manage it. She's figured out how to go intentional while being fun at the same time as pulling it away and knowing how to spend time with the fam. Jill, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
For those of you watching this today, please consider taking our free micro course called The Negative Effects of Screen Time and Social Media for Teens. It's for parents of teens, and it shows you all of the bad things that can happen with too much screen time. It's 100% free. It's 45 minutes of my very best data, and it's in our new learning management course that is a part of Parent University, making you the very best parent you can be with this new digital world that we live in. So it is The Negative Effects of Screen Time. You can click the link below. It's a 100% free course that gives you the very, very best data on really what's going on with these devices that we use a lot. So I hope you'll take a look at that. I'm Josh with smartsocial.com. Thanks to everybody that's supporting us and being a part of our family, teaching kids how to be light, bright, and polite online. I'll see you guys all on the next episode. And one more time, consider subscribing right now on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, wherever you're at, on YouTube. Give us a thumbs up or a like or a share, and also on Facebook. We'll see you guys all real soon. Have a great day.